In this video, we're going to show you how you can use CI-driven scans in Burp Suite Enterprise when you're using GitLab as your CI provider. Now to do this, you'll have already needed to have created a user in Burp with an API key which has permissions to run CI-driven scans. If you need help with this, you can look at our documentation pages on our website. Now in my GitLab repository here, I have 4 files, but the main ones are the GitLab CI file for the pipeline, the burp config file for the scan configuration, and the recorded login JSON file. Now our pipeline file just says that we're going to run our Docker container, and it points to our configuration file for the scan, and it's also going to say to output a JUnit report file when the scan finishes. And in this artifacts rule, we say that we're going to put out this JUnit report file and then report those tests directly in the pipeline. If we go back and look at our burp configuration file, we can see that it points to our enterprise server, and we also have our API key here for authentication. If you're using a self-signed certificate as well, you'll need to include the public key here of that certificate to prove the authenticity of the server. If you scroll down, we have the correlation ID, which is the name that the site will show as in the burp console. If you don't want the site to show in the burp console, then you don't need to have a correlation ID. We also have the start URLs, and all of this configuration here is the same as what we have in the burp console. Under the reporting section, we say that we're going to fail the build if we have a low severity issue with a firm confidence, but all the settings here are just a snapshot of what you can set for a CI-driven scan. On our GitHub, we have a publicly accessible repository which shows all the different settings that you can set within a CI-driven scan. You can find it at the link that's on the screen. Now if we go back to GitLab and kick off a new build, if we go to pipelines and then we run our pipeline, you can see here that pipeline's now starting, and if we go to our jobs, you can see here that it's found our burp config path and run the test. Now, if we go to check our burp, under scans, we can see that our new scan's been started, and if we go to view the site, we can see here that the site was created by a CI-driven scan. If we go to a scan which was already completed in the past, you can see here all the different statistics of the scan as it ran, and we can see at the end here that the job failed with exit status 1 because we reached our issue threshold here. So if we go back to the job and then we go to the test pane, you can see here all the tests that were run during the scan and the ones that failed. And if we go to view details, we can see in here the severity, confidence, host and path of the issue, as well as the issue detail and background, and all of the same information that you're used to seeing within the burp console. And that's how you run a CI-driven scan in Burp when using GitLab.